Well, hello, everybody. It is almost the Ides of March 2026. It is March 14th, 2026, and I had to make a video where you're not going to be able to say anything, so it's more like a podcast. But I had a random realization about the whole thing with the one short story that's set within the Murderbot Diaries universe from the one anthology, the thing that's called Data Ghost, that is so blatantly an anti-abortion fucking metaphor. And hold on, let me just give you a description. The shortest possible description is that the protagonist of this short story, written by a white woman from Texas who pretends to be progressive, the protagonist is a character, you could presume non-binary character that uses they them pronouns, named Denny. And Denny's whole thing is that they were medically raped by their family and had a non-consensual brain surgery and had a sentient brain chip.
Compare it to Farscape.
Compare
it to Farscape.
I haven't seen enough Farscape, but it's compared to Farscape. Had a sentient brain chip implant forced into their skull through non-consensual brain surgery after their family medically raped them. And this, specifically the parents arranged this, and Denny's brother viciously taunted them that the surgery had been botched and the chip was going to fry their brain any day now and they would die horribly. So that all happened off screen before the start of the story. And also before the start of the story, Denny has joined a crew of two, like, space trader people.
Calling it a crew is
Yeah, calling it a crew is a stretch. Has joined on as a worker on a otherwise would have been two-person space flight thing, and of unknown purpose, unknown origin, unknown destination, unknown what the hell they're even transporting, because, as usual, complete lack of road-building. And Denny joined this work thing because they want to get to a medical station that's outside their home planet so that they can get their fucking non-consensually inserted brain chip removed.
For Farscape fans, just imagine Harvey.
Yeah, for Farscape fans, you can imagine this is the equivalent of Harvey.
We gotta watch the movie that's based on.
Yeah. And so Denny has run away from their family after their family medically raped them. And yes, I do use the term medical rape because you'll see. And wants to get the brain chip removed. They tell this to the captain of the ship they've signed on to, who was an older woman who explicitly is related to, is an older relative to the man who works on the ship, but explicitly is not his mother. Explicitly. They're not mother and son. There's some random ass, weirdly specifically nebulous relationship between them that's not specified in the book for reasons that will become clear. Specifically, though, he is not her son. Presumably, she does not have children. So when Denny tells this female captain what happened to them, the captain runs a little medical scan, generic ass fucking medical scanner on Denny, and is like, oh, well, you know, you said this was implanted against your will, but this is actually really great. This is really well done. You had nothing to worry about. Oh, I'm so jealous. Some people would fucking
You can get the book and quote.
That's too much fucking effort. This is supposed to be. Anyways, Denny runs away from home to get to a medical center to have this chip removed. Confesses
the way you're saying that, it's kind of undermining, like, how it's said. It's just so fucking terrible.
It's bad, guys. It's so bad.
You're making it seem more lighthearted than it is. But, like, trust.
They can find the book if they really want to see the exact details, or they can just they can just watch our video, or we can do a follow-up video where we're also reading through it again, or they can just watch the original video where we're reading Data Ghost from the book. So yeah, Denny confides this to the captain of the ship. Captain of the ship shames them for wanting to get it removed and tells them that they should just activate it. Stop arguing with it because it's literally a disembodied voice in their head that they cannot ignore or shut out. And tells them arguing with that thing is the equivalent of arguing with your spleen. It is part of you now. You're only causing yourself trouble. Whole bunch of shit happens, and through deadly circumstances, Denny is coerced by extreme life and death situations into embracing this non-consensual sentient brain chip that's been shoved into their head and left them literally disfigured. They have a scar on their head, under their hairline, and all this stuff from their family medically raping them, and is coerced into initializing the brain chip, which permanently rewrites their entire brain chemistry and everything. It makes it so that the brain chip can never be removed, because by this point...
No, it could never be removed at all.
Yeah, for whatever bullshit fucking reason except to guilt trip and shame people for wanting abortions. It's established that they would not be able for whatever goddamn fucking reason, of which there is no reason except for the guilt trip and the shaming of in the pro-life flavor, the physical unit would not be able to be removed. They would just use some software to uninstall the programs on it, which is stupid shit and makes literally no sense. It's literally just part of the guilt trip. So yeah, anyways, Denny is coerced into initializing the brain chip, but not before Denny is literally and textually, explicitly interacting with and viewing this sentient brain chip forced into their head through non-consensual brain surgery when their family medically raped them as a sad little child who is the unwanted child who just wants their parents' love and affection and is the product of rape, explicitly spelling out, I never wanted you. I never wanted to initialize you. And
meaning I never wanted to get pregnant.
I never wanted to get pregnant. When Denny is talking to the captain of the ship, and they're talking about how they would abort this fucking unwanted pregnancy, the thing is in Denny's head, all sad like, and I just forgot, what's the Purple Gem's name from Steven Universe?
Amethyst.
Yeah, Amethyst voice. Why are you all sad? Steven! Why are you standing there all sad like that? And the brain chip's just in Denny's head being sad about the concept of it getting fucking uninstalled, aka aborted, and Denny thinks to themselves during this conversation, wow, having a sentient being in your head being sad and scared at the concept of you aborting it while you're aborting it is almost as bad as being raped and forcibly impregnated against your will to begin with. And then the big grand moral of the story is that Denny is coerced by the stupid ass, half-assed, stupid plot that doesn't make any sense. It's literally all contrivances. Into accepting and embracing and wanting to be nice to this brain chip that they've been so cruel to by desperately pretending that it doesn't exist whenever it randomly talks to them in their head against their will in a way that it's impossible for them to shut out. And yeah, the whole big grand moral is that Denny stops fighting their biology and accepts the brain chip as part of their body. Therefore, it can give them no harm. Its values and goals perfectly align with Denny's because that's just biology. That's just natural. That's just nature. If something's a part of your body, it can't hurt you. If you try to argue, that's just like arguing with your spleen. It's not like cancer's not a fucking part of you or anything like that. It's not like people don't die from goddamn fucking pregnancy complications every single fucking goddamn day, especially in America, and especially marginalized women like black women who face so many more fucking deaths from pregnancy complications because of our shit-ass medical system and institutionalized racism and medical racism. Anyways, the whole big grand plot is that Denny embraces biology, embraces the natural course of motherhood, and accepts, no, I don't want an abortion. Getting an abortion is fucking cruel and mean and child abuse to this poor, unborn, goddamn fucking fetus that is in my body. And I'm actually going to embrace becoming a mother against my will, and it's actually a good thing that I was raped by my family and literally taunted by my brother that I would die horribly in childbirth or from pregnancy complications, if we're going for the metaphor, because actually being pregnant is what saved me from this stupid ass contrived, literally doesn't make any sense, technological siren plot device
that you wouldn't have encountered if you hadn't been medically.
that I would not have even have encountered if I wasn't seeking an abortion to begin with. But that doesn't matter, because becoming a mother is now an innate part of me, and to deny that is to argue with biology, and we can't do that. So now, Denny, who started the story using they, them pronouns, explicitly for the punchline of the final line in the story, being Denny swapping their pronoun, their first person personal pronoun from I and me, to give you an example, I am Denny. This is a fucked up situation my family gave me, to now being we and our. So we are Denny, and this is a fucked up situation our family gave us. That's just a random ass sentence to give you an example of a first person personal pronoun for someone who maybe never heard that concept described. But yeah, the final heartwarming closing note on the entire story, after Denny has embraced biology, stopped wanting an abortion, embraced the natural course of motherhood, and accepted that they are now a mother irrevocably and would not change it and should never change it, and no one should ever seek to change it, because that's child cruelty, don't you know? That's child abuse. That's killing a poor innocent child if you want to abort your unborn fetus that was forced upon you by rape. Yeah. Denny changes their first person personal pronoun to we and our, because they are no longer just a singular person. And it's not even because they're plural. It's because
they are plural.
They're plural, but I can tell you fucking sure Martha Wells has no idea that plurality exists, and she does not give a fuck either way. She'd probably say that fucking Rift was plural because he's evil, and a serial killer because he doesn't like societal oppression. So yeah, Denny changes their pronouns from I and our to, or no, from I and me to we and our, because they're now the permanent host to a fucking unwanted, unborn fetus that can never, ever, ever be removed or uninstalled. And their entire identity has been completely rewritten by them finally embracing motherhood.
And embracing the destiny that their family...
And embracing the biological destiny thrust upon them by their family. Because getting an abortion is wrong and mean. Anyways, that's the 14-minute short summary. So that's one fucking horrific thing and moral anti-abortion moral story that was published in 2025, late 2025. You know, just like almost 4 years after Roe versus Wade was fucking abolished. So that's a whole thing. It's as disgusting as it sounds and horrific as it sounds.
Can I interject the fact that Biden did not prevent that from being overturned when that was within his fucking power, and then Democrats are still like, you gotta still vote for us though, we're better than that guy, and it's like, but you literally won't actually fucking do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You literally won't even do the thing that like most of the country wants you to do.
Yep.
And then you still expect me to vote for you. That's not how this fucking works.
But yeah, So, would you like to know my further realization about Data Ghost I had in the middle of fucking nowhere, in the middle of work?
Let me get a drink first and just wait until I'm done drinking so I don't do a spit take.
It's not that dramatic, but it is very telling and hilarious in a very sad way.
Okay.
So the whole thing is that Data Ghost is, not explicitly, but it is part of the Murderbot Diaries universe. It doesn't say that anywhere in the thing, but the fact that the sentient brain chip, as we've been referring to it, is
it is fucking explicit. It's using literally all of the same goddamn what passes for slang. It's
yeah, that's what I was about to say. That we're referring to it as a sentient brain chip to give you the most succinct and actual apt description of it. But it's referred to as an implant, like with a capital I, with as an interface with a capital I. There's like feed. The feed.
It's in the Murderbot
space.
Diaries.
Yeah, it's set in the Murderbot Diaries. Murderbot's not in it. They don't make any references to specific locations because they don't make any references to anywhere.
What
the
specific
station
locations exist? It's just preservation.
Exactly. They don't mention the corporation
We don't
rim.
even have a name for the planet they were on originally.
We don't even know what the name of the station they're at. Well, maybe we do, but if we do,
it's port-free commerce.
I meant the ghost station.
Oh, okay.
The quote-unquote ghost station, because that sounds spooky and cool, right? That means something to an audience, right? Huh? That's cool.
Look up the Beast of Space. That is infinitely better in every way.
Anyways, to fill you guys in, this story is set within the Murderbot Diaries universe. And would you like to know just how deep the quote-unquote pro-life, aka anti-abortion theme goes? The realization I had?
Okay.
It's not just the metaphor, which is spelled out to us textually by Denny literally viewing the sentient brain chip as a poor, sad child who's so sad that their parent doesn't love them and didn't want kids. It's also the whole conservative thing. Well, they will say they're pro-life. That's their stance. That's the thing they want to be known as. Pro-life. And what they mean by that is, if a woman becomes pregnant, it's 100% entirely on her shoulders. Not anybody else. Not even in the case, and especially when they do make an exception for rape victims, that also spells it out even more clearly than the ones who do insist that rape victims also are not allowed to get abortions. Because that's the whole thing about conservative shit, is that it's believing two completely contradictory things at the same time. So, to expand on that a bit more, the people who claim to be pro-life, die anyway, claim to be pro-life and make exceptions for victims of rape are literally telling on themselves. Because the people who are pro-life are not actually giving a shit about those unborn fetuses who then become born children and actual human beings who are able to fucking live on their own outside of somebody else's body. No. What they actually stand for is punishing women for having sex. And forcing women to be their fucking broodmares. And to carry out their biological destiny as set out by God himself. Capital G.
Including non-binary people and trans men.
Yep, including not just cis women who identify as cis women, but non-binary people, trans men, anybody who has the ability to get pregnant and gets pregnant is viewed as, like, they're just desserts. It's because you sinned. If you have sex, even if it's not consensual, that's on you as far as they're concerned, and now you get to be punished by fulfilling your biological destiny of carrying that pregnancy to term, even if it literally kills you, and then giving birth to the child. Are they going to pay for any of your prenatal care? Are they going to help you find adoption agencies? Are they going to pay all your medical bills? Are they going to help you? Are they going to pay for your housing? Are they going to pay for when you can't actually fucking physically work, but your work doesn't give you maternity leave? Are they going to, take that child and raise it themselves? Are they gonna pass laws so that children can have 3 free meals a day and expanded food stamps so that families can afford to feed their children? No. And would you like to know how deep the metaphor goes in Data Ghost of being anti-abortion,
Yes.
conservative shit?
Tell me.
It's because explicitly in the Murderbot Diaries, if you are not legally considered human, even if you're originally literally a human, you have no rights.
Mm-hmm.
The brain chip, if we're going explicitly textually with the literal anti-abortion metaphor of it being an unwanted fetus, is an unwanted unborn fetus, is if it, that whole thing with the fucking contrived plot device villain that was fucking stupid and contrived, that was the whole thing where they downloaded this big tech scary program into Denny and did a complete file transfer for whatever goddamn fucking reason. All off screen.
And then we just get told this had no problems because reasons.
They deleted it as soon as it was installed.
Off screen.
Off screen.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to think that's totally
because you can store computer commands in people's neural tissue.
It doesn't matter. It's just stupid.
You can hear, you can imagine the disdain in my expression as I say those words. So yeah, textually, literally, in the Murderbot Diaries, and in the actual text of Data Ghost, this unwanted unborn fetus, even if they built a brand new body for it, so it could be its own complete separate person, if Denny, quote, if Denny metaphorically gave birth and gave the sentient brain chip its own body, this is a newborn child from an unwanted pregnancy that somebody was coerced into carrying. Do you think conservatives are gonna lift a fucking finger to help this new life once it's separated from the person they want to punish and forced to carry a pregnancy? No, because in the Murderbot Diaries, if you're not human or you're not legally considered human, you have no rights. You're literally property. You can never, ever, ever have any rights. You have no civil rights. You can never be your own person. So literally, even in this universe, if this fucking brain thing is treated exactly how fucking conservatives treat children, especially of poor families and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But just the fact that was what occurred to me, is that it's literally just the full anti-abortion crowd, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. What I'm saying is that it's literally just, if we were taking out the sci-fi...
Wells wants us to think that this person should exist despite them being forced upon Denny against their fucking will through medical rape. But then, if we actually took all of the steps necessary to let this person exist as themselves and gave them their own body, which would be 100% possible, you can just make a fucking robot body and download it into there.
As Data Ghost itself proves.
Yeah, as Data Ghost itself literally fucking proves, then they would immediately become literally fucking a slave, free for the fucking taking, and not an actual person at all. So Denny is literally being forced to carry the fucking pregnancy, and then the child has literally no fucking rights, and all of the exact same people who forced it into existence against its carrier's will literally want to do nothing but treat it like garbage and exploit it.
Yep. And also, and if Denny got coerced into carrying this unwanted pregnancy forced on them by their family, literally raping them, medically raping them in this case, but the metaphor is there, guys. It can't get any more explicit. And then went through all this thing, and everyone's just like, well, you can, adoption's totally an option. You'll help me find a family to adopt them, though, right? Padme and Anakin meme. Right? Silence. So then Denny would literally have to fucking take care of this fucking now in a separate robot body, sentient brain chip, for the rest of their life, probably.
Yep.
Because even if they... because, literally nobody, including the goddamn fucking protagonist and the fucking utopian slaveholding freehold planet that's preservation and the stupid ass university that Art's working with, are not actually doing anything to actually do an abolitionist movement. So literally, unless...
Because slave rebellions are cliche.
But, so yeah, even if they did all this and Denny did give sentient brain chip SBC...
Which doesn't have a name, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't have a name. It's just called the implant or the interface or whatever.
We're supposed to pretend it's a fully functioning person, but it has literally not been given a name, not even by the end of the goddamn story.
Yep.
Because...
It sure is treated like a sad little toddler who's so sad their parent is mean to them because they just found out their parent never wanted kids. And this is so sad for this child, not for the parent forced into this situation against every fucking shred of their will. But yeah. And then, unless they literally manage to find an actual fucking place that actually abolished slavery, Denny would just be forced to fucking take care of this thing for the rest of their life. Because, the robots in this universe probably don't age. And
when do you think she's going to reveal to us how old Murderbot is?
never.
After going out of her way to tell us that Art is so much more experienced.
It's so fucking funny because I bet you that half this fandom thinks that Murderbot is a teenager.
That's because she keeps literally framing it as one on purpose.
A coming of age story where Murderbot, where Mensa is like Murderbot's mom, and Murderbot just needs to fly away from the nest a little bit at the end of book 1 to find itself, and then go back to its family after it's learned some life lessons.
Which is
such
that
as
running away from your slave owners is a mistake.
Yeah, Murderbot should have stayed with them all along because they're where it belongs. It belongs with its owners, who are the best slave owners. Because,
and that was literally
slavery
stated
apologism.
In book 1.
Yep. So yeah, that was just the slightly unhinged rant I wanted to go on. The fact that it's not just the fact that it's an anti-abortion metaphor through and through, textually, explicitly. It's also just the fact that it perfectly lines up with every single other political shit in the Murderbot Diaries, which is just conservative fucking propaganda with the thinnest possible veneer of progressiveness painted on via vibes. But yeah.
No, don't end the video yet. You should just go over your whole they literally seceded from the Union thing.
The other realization, I don't know if this was on...
That.
Yeah, the other realization, the other, mind-blowing conservative bullshit propaganda thing in the Murderbot Diaries, I realized a few weeks ago at this point, is that the whole thing about preservation and them being such good guys, where they've totally outlawed slavery, except for, the fact that they haven't, but also their slavery is the good kind, because they're nice slave owners, and they just want what's best for their slaves, and they treat their slaves nice, so this makes them not slave owners. Yeah, they're literally preservation, including their name, being preservation,
Preserved tradition?
Preserved tradition.
What else could it fucking possibly stand for? She doesn't like media preservation.
Reject modernity, embrace tradition, preserve, conserve, conservation, conservative, preservation. Yeah, preservation, if we're going to take the corporation rim as the United States, preservation is the fucking states. The Preservation Alliance is the states who seceded from the Union so that they can continue to do slavery. Because their slavery is good, and the corporation rim slavery is bad.
They
The
don't
preservation.
actually think that though either.
Yeah, they don't actually think that the corporation rim slavery is bad. They only think the corporation rim stuff is bad when it impacts them directly. They could not give two shits about literally anybody who's not them or someone they like in particular. Literally, they're beneath. The people who live in the corporation rim are completely and utterly beneath preservation's notice or care.
Even though
We're supposed to think that they're the good
guys.
guys who are off on these righteous missions helping people. They don't. They literally never do. Even in the fucking, quote, short story, which is not a short story because a short story implies a beginning, middle, end, and a plot that gets any kind of resolution. Literally just has arts university people who we've been hyping up for like almost fucking 4 years now.
It's been 6 years now.
Oh, it has been 6 years.
Network Effect came out in 2020.
Yeah, Network Effect came out in 2020. So we've spent the last 6 years straight hyping up Arts University as being these grand action heroes.
Who will finally disrupt the status quo of the series where nothing happens, where they actually help people. So now Murderbot's gonna go with them and start really making a difference.
Yeah, we've been hyping up Arts University people as these stealthy action heroes who are out saving the day, helping the little people, fighting the good fight. And then we get the story set that was written and published in 2026. And it's 2025, sorry. And it's literally just them waltzing past an ongoing genocide and fucking military takeover where people are being dragged from their homes, screaming and crying and being shoved into concentration camps. And it's just Iris and her little fucking crew, including like another 8+ fucking named characters that don't do anything and don't exist on page and are brand new. And they just waltz past this genocide and fucking military occupation as people are being forced into concentration camps and sold into slavery and beaten by the police right in front of them. And it's hyped as a stealth mission, and then the second they get there and the guard asks them what they're there for, they just tell the truth. And then we're still acting like it's a stealth mission for some reason, even though they explicitly told the guards 100% truthfully why they're there, where they came from, and that they'll be here for a little while. And then we're still acting like it's a stealth mission after that for some goddamn fucking reason. So, yeah, we got hyped up for the 6 years that they're the good guys doing the good fight, and then they're just walking past people. Graffiti is ugly and bad, but if it's something that they find value in, suddenly it can't possibly be graffiti. Instead, it's a mural. Because it's the anti-fucking black racism and the classism is baked into this entire fucking series, including having Murderbot itself be fucking pissed off and snappy about finding that people have graffitied over fucking corporation logos at random ass stations it's not even responsible for. And this is framed in its internal monologue because I knew how it's justified. This fucking literally racist and classist fucking, like, it's fucking so stereotypical to find graffiti to be ugly and gross. And Murderbot worships the goddamn fucking corporations and gets pissy about people graffitiing over corporation logos. And this is justified because some wishy-washy backstory that never impacts Murderbot ever that we get that didn't exist until the line it's delivered in and doesn't exist after that line that it's delivered in. But yeah, preservation is literally just the fucking Confederate States who seceded from the Union so that they can do fucking slavery, but it's benevolent. Is that how you say that word? Benevolent slavery. They're nice to their slaves. They offer.
Don't ask how, though.
Don't ask how.
Don't ask for evidence of that statement. Just trust them.
Yeah, their slaves have infantilizing names that they like. They totally gave themselves these infantilizing names because we have to infantilize them, and we can't take anybody seriously.
Controlled by these people.
Yeah, every single fucking slave they own is literally still an actual literal slave. They literally are worshipped as this fucking communist utopia, but their entire quote-unquote communist utopia is built on unpaid slave labor. It's literally just slave labor.
They don't have money because the workers are all enslaved.
They don't have currency or anything because they don't need currency. because they get all
Just
their
like the
shit
rest
completely
are.
for free
Just like
because
the rest are.
their
So
economy is
fucking mad
based
about that.
on slave labor. They get all their fucking exotic fruits and vegetables and nut milks for free because their fucking economy is based upon slave labor and colonization, including colonizing entire planets and pretty much just turning them into banana republics, as I've seen mentioned online. It's literally just, there's no other way that you can have these fully stocked fridges that are available to billions and billions of people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's multiple planets worth it, at the very least.
Never mind. Continue.
And these are available in the entire Preservation Alliance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, completely for free. There's no limits. There's
slave owners, that is.
Yeah, if you're a slave owner, there's no limits. You can take as much as you want. You could probably walk up with a fucking grocery cart and empty that entire fucking cooler out, and they would just get restocked instantly with completely fresh fruits and nut milks and all that, because it's all built on slave labor. And we know they're colonizers because of Book 1, where they're out there casually doing a fucking survey because they're considering buying that goddamn fucking planet, and we still don't know what they were there for. So, because the plot doesn't fucking care about it, and Martha Wells doesn't care about world building or anything. That's just a thing that people do in sci-fi stories.
She doesn't care about basic storytelling. She doesn't fucking believe in character development.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in character development, for anybody who missed that memo. Hope you're not waiting for character development at the end of the series, because it's not going to be there. But yeah, preservation is literally just built on slave labor, and they're literally just going around. Clearly, the fact that they don't have currency, so they don't have money, so you can pretty much say it, guaranteed, they're not going to import stuff from the corporation rim, because they look down on the corporation rim. So we know their economy is all built on slave labor. We know that they're colonizing entire planets. That means to get all these expensive tropical fruits and vegetables, and specifically nut milks, because there's no mention of dairy, there's no mention of meat, there's no mention of eggs. So
Murderbot needs to blow up a fucking building. You can continue. I just needed to say that. I need Murderbot to blow up one of their goddamn buildings. As a start.
I can have it blow up the recycling center.
No, it needs to be a populated center. I want them to. I can't. Martha Wells used to be my favorite writer when I assumed that what she was writing was like really, really old, because I didn't look at when these things were published at first. And I assumed that, when she's not actively writing, that she's learning and growing as a person and talking to people and learning to be less bigoted. No. Then I found the interview where she literally doubles down on the racist caricatures that she made in the books of the Raxura, where she also literally explicitly advocates for eugenics and pedophilia, but all that stuff. She explicitly doubled down on the racist caricatures, and she would literally rather defend the original British colonizers than just apologize for using racist caricatures. So, at no point, just don't give her the benefit of the doubt, because she doesn't fucking deserve it. She's not trying to learn better. She's just going to double down forever.
She's someone who wants to get up on stage for TED Talks and say how the Murderbot Diaries is super deeply serious and extremely deep and dark. But if you actually critically analyze her media and critically analyze the themes, she'll back away instantly and start infantilizing her own work and her own writing. Because don't you know, media is never political unless it's in praise of the political themes you think you've put into your work. God forbid anybody actually deeply, critically examine the actual themes in your work and what they support and what you're explicitly endorsing.
Explicitly. We were literally meant to clap and cheer when the character gives a whole speech about how eugenics is the solution.
Yep. We're supposed to find it romantic that a fucking child has been trafficked to someone 3 or 4 times his age. Because, it's hot when a woman is a predator. It's so romantic and cute. She's waiting until he's older. That's so great, isn't it? Just imagine that pained grimace from The Office. I don't know any of these characters' names. But just the guys.
The main character?
I think he is. I think he's the boss.
We've never actually watched The Office, but I guess we should at some point so we can just get more gifts.
I think we tried to at one point. It was just...
No, we were trying to watch Parks and Recreation. I think that's a different thing.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
at some point we'll watch...
the
At some point we'll
style.
get around to watching The Office. Just so we have all the gifts in context and can make more memes. But, yeah. Lost the train of thought. This is not the actual audio recorder, so I don't have a transcript to roll back. But yeah, just the fact that preservation is literally just fucking... We're supposed to believe that they're a great communist utopia where everybody's got equal rights and there's no slavery, except it's explicitly built on slave labor. It's all banana republics and shit. It's all colonization and exploitation of the land. It's all just complete bullshit and all this shit, and we're supposed to view them as the good guys, and we're not supposed to question it, and we're supposed to agree with them that bots don't need to be free. We're supposed to agree with them that if you're nice to that, if you're a nice slave owner, that's the same thing as not being a slave owner at all. Because the whole lost cause propaganda of the Civil War, Google it, there's so much shit about it. It's literally propaganda of romanticizing the defeat of the Confederacy as being against overwhelming forces and overwhelming numbers. There was nothing they could do, but maybe someday...
Oh, I see. Nothing, just a random other science fiction story. I realized that's what they were doing.
Oh, the lost cause propaganda?
Yes.
Yeah, just if you're unfamiliar with that, just Google American Civil War lost cause propaganda. Just do some reading on it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Preservation is literally Confederate states who seceded from the Union, and everything they do is perfectly fine and dandy. And if it's not perfectly fine and dandy, we're gonna hand wave it away and woobify it and infantilize it until it is. It is what it is. Even the president of the entire fucking planet can't pass laws to give people their rights, so you should just shrug
Not even
and...
that she can't. We're just
She
never
just does
given
it.
any reference to the fact that she's the president of the fucking thing. And the amount of responsibility that comes with that.
We don't
And
know what her
begging the
platform
question,
was.
Literally.
What's Mensa's politics? How did she get elected?
On a
What was the
planet of
platform
slavers.
that she ran on? On a fucking planet that runs on an alliance of planets that all run on slave labor. What was her platform? What did her
Clearly,
campaign
it wasn't
consist of?
abolishing slavery. Martha Wells wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants us to think it's cool and badass, strong female character. Mensa's the president, but we're not actually supposed to, have any kind of the responsibility or anything that goes along with that position inherently.
At some point, we just need to attempt to rewatch Battlestar Galactica. Because, what's President Rosalind? Is that her name?
I think so.
In the reboot of Battlestar Galactica, which is the only version we've ever seen, the only reason I haven't rewatched it is there's way too many sex scenes. It's annoying to have to skip through. One of the main characters in that is, pretty sure her name's Rosalind. She's the president of, humanity, what's surviving of it. And
Unelected, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Her being president is not something she planned for. Her becoming president is because she's the goddamn fucking Secretary of Education, and the presidency, when the president dies, is supposed to go to the vice president. And if the vice president's dead, it's supposed to go to blah blah blah. And if that guy's dead, it's supposed to go to blah blah blah. And if that guy's dead, it's supposed to go to blah 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 blah. And just on and on and on and on and on. And so many people were fucking wiped out in the fucking huge ass attack that left, I think, is Is it like a whole fleet of ships, or is it
think-
just the Galactica?
No, it's a whole fleet of
Yeah,
ships. It's whoever was in space at the time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty much every single person on their entire planet who did not manage to get on a spaceship is dead. So, President Roslin gets the fucking surprise fucking announcement. Hey, by the way, you're a president now. And she's like, I'm what? And like, yeah, literally everybody else is dead. You're the only other person in the line of inheriting the presidency. And she's like, that's supposed to be like 50 or 100 people. I'm the Secretary of Education. And they're just like, yeah, we know. We don't get any of that. Mensa being president isn't something that they lie about for clout to try and intimidate the villains or anything.
And it would have been so fucking easy to just do that, but no.
No, instead, literally, Mensa is literally described as, well, won't your political entity, wouldn't your political entity miss you guys? Or
No,
why would your political entity give a fuck about you? Whatever, one of those two. And then Rathy later laughs and says, Mensa is our political entity. You know, she's the president of the planet. We get told that, and it's true. It's not a lie. It's not a ruse. It's literally true. So, Mensa is the president of an entire fucking alliance run on slave labor. What are her politics? What are her goals as a politician? Why did she want to be a politician? None of this gets answered.
Well,
this is shit that's inherent.
Remind me to give you advice for your fic before I forget at the end of this.
Okay. You cannot make one of your goddamn fucking main characters a politician and then not in any way, shape, or form explore their own politics and how they got to that political position.
It's literally
Let alone
inherently political.
It's inherently political. You can't just drop a character who's the president of the entire fucking alliance, who owns slaves and rents slaves and goes multiple planetary systems outside of her home territory to colonize other planets while renting slaves to do so, and runs an entire fucking alliance of planets who are run on a slave labor economy, and not talk about her politics. You can't just pretend it's not political.
She literally just wants all of the positives of cool, and then doesn't actually want to do anything with it. Like, it would have been so easy to have Mensa go home and start trying to get slavery abolished, and then she gets impeached. That's all she would have had to do. That's all Martha Wells would have had to do to uphold...
But then we wouldn't be able to say...
Stop talking. That's all Martha Wells would have had to do to uphold the fucking status quo of slavery is good on preservation without making Mensa look even worse than she already does. As somebody who literally knowingly went solar systems out of her fucking way to rent out a slave and then lied to that fucking slave's face. And also, you know, the whole fucking psychologically torturing it to try and trigger its panic attack for literally no reason except sadism, because there was no other reason. They were just doing that for fun. Okay. Mom does not believe me that a crochet dog leash can contain a dog, because she doesn't know how physics works.
I mean, she also probably doesn't know how to use a leash properly.
She probably has. Train your fucking dogs to walk on a leash, people.
And harnesses in particular first. But yeah, Mensa's the president. You're supposed to take that at surface level. You're not supposed to question it, especially in a story that was published in 2016, right?
No, everything was after. That would have been 2019 or 2018. Let me check my list. I literally have it saved to Notepad.
But yeah, you can't make a character the president of your entire planet and not actually have that have any meaning or depth, or explore that in any way, shape, or form, and expect your readers to ignore it.
It's very clear to me that she literally did not plan for that to be a thing until that very second fucking sentence in book 1.
Yeah, a lot of Martha Wells' books, you can very clearly tell, are not very well edited, despite so many things proclaiming...
We're asking when the short thing was published?
No, when was All Systems Red published?
That was 2017.
Okay, that's what I was
She wrote
asking.
it in 2016 because it was published in May.
Yeah. That was cute, Mr. Lupin. Yeah, a lot of her things, you can very clearly tell, especially if you are a writer yourself, they're just not edited. She's also admitted that she doesn't actually plan out her things. She just pantses, flies by the seat of her pants every single time she gets told to write another novel. She just comes up with whatever fucking idea she happens to have on the spot and does it.
There's not even a general overarching plan for the series. She literally admitted this.
Yep. Literally admitted in interviews that there's no overall plan for the series. She's literally just coming up with random ass one-shots off the top of her head as soon as she needs another book to write. None of it's connected, none of it's planned, none of it has any meaning, because she also doesn't believe in character arcs. And maybe you think to yourself, well, even if she doesn't believe in character arcs on purpose, surely she would still be subconsciously writing character arcs for these people, right? No. You can read the books of the fucking Raxura series, which is complete, and see how it is.
We're 13 books into this series, and we still don't know what the fuck Rathy's goddamn first name or job is. We literally don't know what his job is.
He's a doctor, too. He's got a doctorate.
Baby, so adorable. You are so cute.
Yeah, there's some... If you're actually learning how to write, it's become so painfully clear when you read her books. You can tell exactly when she's writing, when something gets revealed to the audience, that it did not exist until it was typed out into the document at exactly the place where it appears in the final product. Because there's never any setup, there's never any foreshadowing, there's never any build-up to anything. It just gets dropped on you out of the blue, and then it usually just as quick gets forgotten. And it's so funny. It's so infuriating. But it also just gives you hope that if you've got imposter syndrome and you want to be a writer, just with an actual critical eye and your brain turned on, just read any of her stories and be like, wow, I have a basic grasp of the fundamentals of storytelling, and I can do this if this author can get published with this shit.
If Martha Wells can fucking publish however many books, you can too.
Uh-huh. And trust me, if you write a short story and you actually have a beginning, middle, and end, and you have a conclusion to your plot, congrats. You're literally a better writer than this fucking author. Because who's been doing this since 1993.
And it's not improved, and it's literally only gotten worse.
Literally just getting worse. Because fans and Tor, it's so funny to learn that Tor is just publishing unedited Wattpad fic without editing it and using AI generated covers. It's so funny to learn that Tor's doing that shit. And it's just like, oh, that explains all of it. That explains everything. Tor published Gothicana. If you don't know about Gothicana, go look up reviews for Gothicana and know that Tor is the one who published that, and that's the kind of quality and price scalping you can expect from this publisher.
Get some fucking leather or something.
Okay. Yeah. Stand on a hopeful note. If you ever have imposter syndrome, just know. If you can do the fundamentals of storytelling, if you can include foreshadowing in your story, and you can actually do setup, instead of just pulling shit out of your ass, putting it on the document page the second you come up with it, and then never edit. If you are capable of doing second and third drafts after you finish your first draft and editing,
drafts. You can edit as you go.
Yeah, if you do any kind of actual editing to make your story flow coherently and have setup and conclusions and payoff and a conclusion to the plot,
the same conversation,
and not repeat
5 times in the same conversation and just keep fucking doing all this shit.
I thought it was 3 times.
I don't know. It's too many.
Yeah. If you can do any of the basic fundamentals of storytelling and editing and drafting, you can do it. I believe in you. Bye-bye.